Hi there, Steve from Steve M Outdoors, and today we're going to discuss the topic of 4x4 vehicle off-road recovery kits. Now, if you're relatively new or you just haven't thought about it or don't care, you're probably wondering, well, why the hell would I need a recovery kit, Steve? I've got a 4x4 equipped vehicle with big tires, a lift, and a winch, and that's all I need to get me out of any jam. Well, it's going to get you out of pretty much a lot of jams, maybe even most jams. But it's not going to get you out of every single potential issue or problem. You know what they say, if you're not getting stuck, you're not trying hard enough. And if you get stuck, well, you might need more than just your winch and some fancy tires and 4x4 to get you out. In comes the recovery kit. Now, if you have done some research on the topic, you've probably noticed that all the recovery kits cost from about $150 to $200, and they all have pretty much the exact same stuff in there. In fact, I could probably look at a bag, a recovery kit that you can buy, and I could name every single item in there off the top of my head without even looking inside of it. That's not to denigrate those kits, by the way. They all have really useful gear in there, snatch blocks and tow recovery straps, all that stuff. The problem with them is that they are built to a cost, and that can be good and bad. Good if you're looking to spend a specific amount of money. Bad if you're looking for, let's say, the highest quality items you could possibly get for your dollar. Additionally, a lot of these recovery kits, they're built to a certain winch capacity. A lot of the kits that I see out there are built for 10,000 pound winches. If you've got something bigger, like I do, I have an 11.5K winch, well, you are now losing a lot of the recovery kits that you could buy for a cheaper price, because the higher end winch demands higher capacity equipment, which then costs more money. So what is the solution, you're asking? Very easy. Put one of your own together. With some careful hunting, whether in your local stores or online, you can actually put together a kit which is cheaper and has the same gear in it as the recovery kits, or you could actually put together one for the same price and have more stuff in it. So I'm going to go through my gear recovery kit that I pulled out of my Jeep, which I don't know why I did that. I was looking at the Jeep through the window. And I'm going to go through it step by step, tell you what's in there, show you what's in there, and then also show you some of the things that I've added that you don't find in a lot of gear recovery kits. And hopefully that will help you put your own kit together if you're so inclined, for either cheaper or the same price with more stuff in it. So let's get to it. Okay, so now that I've basically covered recovery gear kits, I may as well at least show you what's in my bag. Now, just to preface this, I didn't build this to cost, I built this to capacity. And what I mean by that is my winch is 11,500 pounds of capacity, so everything I picked here had to be at least that, if not much more. You always want to go higher with your equipment when it comes to your winch. You don't ever want to go lower. So anyway, starting off, number one. Everything I'm about to show you at the first part is the basics you would find in those pre-made kits. So number one is a tow strap / tree saver. Usually kits come with one, some of them come with two. I only have one in my kit so far. Probably going to add another one later. This one is a 3-inch by 20-foot tow strap / tree saver, and it is rated to 30,000 pounds, so that's not quite 3 times my winch. And I bought this for $35. Ranger, good Canadian company, so I support Canada when I can. MACA, Make Canada Great Again. Okay, so that's the strap. Next up, most kits will include a snatch block. This one is also from Ranger, as you can see. This one's rated at 17,600 pounds, and this one costs $39. You don't know what a snatch block is? Basically, it's kind of like a pulley where you put your winch line in here, attach this to a point, attach the line that comes out of this to your rig, and it effectively allows you to pull with double the weight that you would normally. So that kind of demands heavy duty snatch blocks, and that's why this lumbering behemoth is in my hand. Okay, next up, well, a winch line dampener. If you don't know what a winch line dampener is, you basically put this over your winch line at certain points, and if there is a failure and the line gives away, the winch line dampener is supposed to at least transfer the energy downwards so that the line hits the ground rather than hit you or your vehicle. Having more than one is a good idea. I have one, but you can also use your car mats as a winch line dampener if you only have one. I'll probably add another one later on, but I figured one was good enough for now. You can't have a recovery kit without extra D-link shackles. So these two cost me a grand total of $25. They both have a rated capacity each of just over 22,000 pounds, and I think I paid, I think I just said $25. So they are 3/4 inch D-ring shackles and do come with protectors. Not really sure why, because these kind of seem to want to pop off all the time, but good to have, I guess, if you're worried about the paint on your shackles. Okay. Every good pre-made recovery kit includes work gloves. You don't really want to grab your winch line with your bare hands. Steel particularly, because it could have cuts and abrasions in the line, loose fibers, whatever you want to call them, which could really cut your hands to pieces. So use gloves. I think these cost me, $5, $10, whatever. Good gloves, didn't cost a lot of money. Okay, now everything I'm about to show you now is what I've added separate and solo to this. Tire pressure monitor, or not a monitor, but just the tire pressure gauge. I paid like $2 for this. I got a bunch of these in the vehicle because I always seem to put them in a place where I can't remember where they are. So now I've basically flooded my vehicle with these. $2, can't hurt. And you'll see why I have this in about a second, like literally 1 second. Because I've also included a professional rapid air deflator for the Jeep. Sometimes more pressure is counterproductive to getting out of jams, so you get yourself a tire deflator. And that'll basically, as the name would suggest, allows you to de-air your tires so you can get into some situations. Sand, for example, is a place where you actually want to cut some air out of your tires so that you can get out easier. So I think this one cost about $36 or $37. Not a huge investment, but worth it to have. Doesn't hurt. And I must note that it's not in this kit, but I have an air compressor in my truck. I don't include it as part of the emergency recovery gear. I just include that as I got that in there, and that's basically it. I also have a couple of cans of that stuff you spray in your tire if you get a flat. Again, I don't include that as part of the recovery gear because I always have that, both for myself and people who have flats, because I'm a nice guy. Bam. Okay, next up, what else we got here? Okay, that doesn't help. Okay, here's something that a lot of kits don't include. Wheel chocks. When you winch, let's say you're winching somebody else out, which is why this would be particularly germane, but also when you're changing a flat and that stuff, putting wheel chocks under your wheels, like at least one of them, is an awesome idea in case something happens and the truck rolls forward slightly. This will stop your head from getting squashed, so this is an awesome idea to have. I think I bought these two for $10, You can spend more and get more, but this really works just as well as anything else. So 2 wheel chocks for $10. You should have one of these in your kit, man. Don't be crazy. What else? Okay, this is a bit cheating because I got this in. Oh, sorry, I keep bumping the camera. Got this in the J-Wave box back in January or February, whatever it was. This is hardly necessary, but every additional tow point or recovery point that you have in your vehicle is a good thing. This basically fits in any standard 2-inch receiver, and it allows you to pull from the center of your vehicle versus the sides where a lot of the hooks are in the back. So this is a good thing to have. The one thing I didn't like about this one, which I think Rampage makes, no hitch pin included or cotter pin. That really kind of pisses me off. So you're spending like $36 to $40 buying this, then you have to go out and spend another couple of bucks to get a pin. Huh? Whatever. Anyway, good to have, and an extra D-ring shackle if you need it, if you don't use this. So can never have enough D-ring shackles. Okay, now this might seem self-evident, but I think you'll find this actually quite interesting. An extra hitch pin and cotter pin. I don't know about you, but a lot of people out there tend to lose these things. So they'll stick this in their hitch and pray to God, or they'll stick like a nail in there or whatever they can to keep this secured. You carry an extra one of these, and that way you have a pin if you need it. And if you don't, you just need the whole pin assembly. Boom, you got one. This is also an excellent emergency recovery tool. Now, I showed you just now this thing. Okay. This thing does the exact same thing. So instead of putting your line around the D-ring shackle, okay, what you can do is you thread your tow strap through the hitch receiver, then you put the hitch pin through the loop, and then secure it with the cotter pin. You now have a recovery tool right here. And this thing can take a hell of a lot of weight on it, because remember, this is securing the hitch pin and all the towing or recovery that this hitch receiver with D-ring shackle is taking. This little thing right here, this thing can be used as an emergency recovery tool. So all you got to do is, like I said, put the strap through the hitch receiver, then secure it with the pin, and Bob's your uncle, man. Cheap, easy. So in a sense, you don't actually even need this. You can just have an extra one of these lying around if you want. So both, in case you lose a pin or you lose the hitch pin and this, or as a recovery tool. Now you know. I think that's it. Hitch receiver, work gloves, yeah, spare hitch pin, tire deflator, wheel chocks. Yeah, that's basically about it. I've covered everything in my recovery kit. As always, these are not exhaustive. You can always add more to this or add different things. Like I said, I'm going to be adding another tow strap at some point, probably another winch line dampener, maybe some extra gloves just in case you need it. And having a couple extra snatch blocks isn't a bad idea either, because you can create some really intricate origami ways of getting your ass out of trouble. Anyway, that's my recovery gear kit. So that's my recovery kit. As always, these things are a work in progress. There are some things missing from the bag that I've been considering adding, but as always, these things are governed by space and money. So I may end up doing a follow-up video in the future, version 2 of the bag, where I'll go over the bag again, but I'll also spotlight the new things that I've added. If you have any suggestions of gear that I might have missed or should consider, feel free to leave them in the comments below, and I'll definitely consider them in the future video. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to give it a thumbs up and share it. Leave a comment. I always do respond to comments. In the description, you'll find links to my Twitter and Facebook pages. If you like what you see, feel free to follow them. As always, enjoy the great outdoors and try and leave as few marks on nature as possible when you get out there with your Jeep. Take care.